This machine, the coolest, quickest operators in St Helens, and they're going to have to be absolutely bang on the money to even compete.
We've seen them though, Terry, defensively, obviously getting their act together. Their attack maybe not so, but defensively at least they have got that at their back.
They've got to be patient, Bill, and they're up against a team here that are playing at a different level to everybody else. The speed that they've got, the power that they've got, very difficult to control, and Richard Agar would have talked all week about controlling the ruck and making sure you dominate in collision and take them to ground on your terms.
Beautiful evening at the Totally Wicked Stadium as Leeds get the game underway, and Walmsley, whoa, that was a good reception, and Horrell congratulates Singleton on his first tackle of the game to stop Walmsley in his tracks. They're going to have to do that a few more times tonight.
Well, his first touch last week, Brad Singleton, I said in the studio, he was very good carrying the ball. That's the other part of his game. That's the challenge for Leeds Rhinos forwards, to try and dominate that middle third of the field.
Theophage, and Leeds already scrambling to cover as Saints throw the ball around. Seaman and Flanai with the tackle. Here's Walmsley again. And Trent Merrin, enthusiastic in the warm-up, urging his teammates into a big performance, leading by example. That kicks an awkward one for Walker. He's picked up by Nagama, and first try of the game by Kevin Nagama. What a horror start for the Leeds Rhinos. And Justin Holbrook can't believe his luck. Richard Agar can't believe his misfortune. First kick of the game, the sun may be in their eyes, and Leeds couldn't cope with it. Kevin Nagama profits.
So you can track it back to the half break and lovely, beautiful offload that Zeb Taylor made over here on this right. They're really strong on the edges with Peru, Taylor continually busting the line. I think it's actually Dominic Peru that finds the offload. Wonderful stuff. And from that kick, you're right, Bill, the sun is high. It's in the eyes of Jack Walker, who's been missing for a few weeks. He gets to it, drops it, and there are 4 St Helens players in the frame looking to pounce on any potential mistake. Good high kick from Lachlan Coote. He moves a bit to get there, thinks he's got it, and it bounces off his chest. First try, first 4, possibly 6, to Justin Holbrook's side.
Go Kevin. And Lachlan Coote, whose kick unsettled Leeds fullback Jack Walker, with the conversion of formality from bang in front of the posts. And Saints get the perfect start, a horror start for Jack Walker on his return to the side.
Well, it's obviously not what Leeds wanted, but they've been here in this situation before. Back in round 3, St Helens were 10-0 up inside the first 10 minutes, and Leeds fought their way back. They're hoping, though, to prevent them scoring again in such rapid fashion.
So here we go again. We were here just a few moments ago as 2.5 minutes into the game, Leeds are restarting. And Wakefield, early scorers in their game, just down the road at Warrington, and Makinson trying to burst his way through. Saints really starting with intent to make life hard for Leeds from the very get-go. Here's Aaron Smith. Smith, lovely ball. Coote was on his shoulder. Now it's with Lomax. Lomax, he's trying his footwork. Lomax ball to Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. It's another Saints try. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook on the shoulder of Lachlan Coote. He gets his 4th try of the season. Back-to-back tries for St Helens. We said it could turn out to be a tough night for Leeds. It's a tough opening 4 minutes or so.
Well, Bill, they're buckling and when they're carrying the ball, and they're getting through that defensive line with ease. And they go at speed, the offloading game, they're dragging defenders in. Look at that, there's a couple of late retreaters. All of a sudden, they go in at the line. You've got players looking outside at what the white jerseys are doing. They've got options either side. And it all comes on the back of strong runs. Couple of strong carries, first of all, enables Johnny Lomax to get that one-on-one, go through the middle, and then LMS just supporting. Well, Saints fans knew that it was going to be a game they probably would have won but they didn't think it was going to be this quick of a points fest.
The Saints are a joy to watch. Sun shining, and they're playing rugby at its very best. You know, it's a fantastic demonstration of they're making it actually look simple, aren't they? The way they played last week, the way they've started today, scoring in blasts of points in quick succession.
Coop then. 65 goals to his name already this season. There's another one. And St Helens already 12-0 up. Louis McCarthy, Scarisbrook, 4th try of the season.
Some good stuff done by James Roby's stand-in, Aaron Smith acting half, and it looks like the Leeds Rhinos defenders are holding back, waiting to see what St Helens were going to do. And while that kick was being taken, Bill, I looked at the Rhinos players. Are they talking? Are their heads down? Has the body language changed from the start of the game? Well, they were still talking. They still seemed determined. But like you said, 5 minutes on the clock, they're down by 2 tries already.
Longest day of the year could turn out to be the longest night of the year for the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, getting the hands on the ball will be a start, but at the moment they're just defending out. This Makinson shoots across. He excites everybody when he gets his hands on the ball.
Well, he must fancy his chances of adding to his try tally this season. Oh, Percival has lost it. Leeds do have the hands on the ball.
Well, let's see what they can do 40 metres away from Saints' line. Just under 6 minutes. They've made the mistake here through the defence from Richie Myler.
Well, here's Brad Singleton now for the Leeds Rhinos. Can they settle things down? Trent Merrin, try scorer in the performance against Wigan last week when Leeds lost. And here is Jack Walker. Fage with the tackle. Conrad Hurrell. Nagama sticking to him but couldn't get a hold of Conrad Hurrell. In the end, it was Aaron Smith who does. Now Dwyer goes off on a run, but then the ball's put down by Merrin, and Coop picks up.
Knock on. Well, the only thing you'd say, Bill, is that it's the right part of the field to make a mistake. 10 metres from Saints' line. Trent Merrin, normally so dependable, isn't he? That second phase rugby that he's got. Players know that if he goes into the tackle, he looks to offload, and Richard Agard, well, he knows that it's all about opportunities this game.
He knows, Tez. They've had one touch of the ball, they haven't completed. They've given possession away. They have to get it out of the mind now. They have to get the minds back on what's actually in front of them, not keep looking at that scoreboard. Otherwise, these St Helens slick operators that they are will march them upfield and get over the try line at will.
Wigan 6-0 up at Huddersfield. Huddersfield looking over their shoulder. And here's Aaron Smith.
Far too quick, far too quick.
That's it, there's just such pace about them. Leeds cannot contain them at the moment. Lomax, short side from him. This time Sutcliffe does manage to stop his progress. On the last now, and good pressure from Leeds on that occasion, but it's still a difficult kick, and claimed this time by Walker. Now then, St Helens have got another big game coming up. They're at Warrington Wolves next Friday, and there's a reminder, courtesy of their hosts, that the Wolves are waiting.
Is that Wolfie flying the plane?
They're doing an exceptional job this year, Warrington, aren't they? Promoting the games. Wonderful stuff on social media. Great invention.
There you go. Warrington against St Helens next Friday, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena for that one. And here's Conrad Hurrell.
No, Bill, when you're in this situation and things haven't been going for you in the season, no matter how hard you try, you've got to still have the mindset that I want to be the main player within the side. I want to lead by example. I want people to follow the standards that I'm going to set in games. Let's not forget, you look at along that Leeds side, there's a lot of players there that have played international rugby at the highest level.
And if you look at it from Saints' point of view, Leeds are limping around here, and Saints think we're on it here tonight. Let's take them to the cleaners.
Percival almost finding a way through. Here is Walmsley, who tormented Leeds in the Saints fight back in February. That ball went forward to Zeb Taylor, and that's a respite. And Harry Newman,
do you know what that expression is?
He won't back down, will he?
Do you know what that expression is? Settle down, little kid. Settle down. Get back in your box.
Well, Zeb Taylor, he's one of those players, isn't he? He's tough, he's aggressive. Harry Newman, though, said in the studio, won't back down.
Saints do this, though. They've done it to teams this year. They blast off. That first 10 minutes is too fast for everybody. Leeds have got to now slowly and patiently work their way back in here, moving the ball, control the ball, can't force a mistake, and then kick with some qualities. Briscoe now makes some ground.
it was Luke Briscoe and now Tom Briscoe. Luke Briscoe back in the side to join his brother for the first time in Super League this season. And here's Conrad Hurrell. See you, Manafanias. A strong run from him. Smith penalised.
Well, that's your reward for running hard, isn't it? See you, Manafanias, getting on the back of a strong carry from Conrad Hurrell. They earn the penalty on hard work and aggressive go forward. You can see he's looking for that offload, isn't he, when he goes through line? You've got to push up with him.
Terry, this is where we'll find out whether Leeds have improved. Their attack, 6 players here, close to opponent's line. What can they do to trouble St Helens? They shift it wide, several passes, but it's again given to Newman. What your magic?
A lot to ask of a player who's still finding his way in the Betfred Super League, just 19 years of age. Here is Trent Merrin. There is Harry Newman in the centres for the last 10 games. And he's got plenty more to look forward to. Watkins, but there was a reception committee for him there, for Conrad Hurrell there. Siu Manafanai. Peru and McCarthy Scarsbrook stop his progress. Brett Ferris. Ferris turns, changes direction. The ball bounces up for Trent Merrin, but again the Leeds attack fits and starts. Dwyer now. Dwyer, little grubber kick from him. The ball's loose, but somehow
Brilliant.
Coote manages to get out of trouble.
Well, it was a save and a roll, wasn't it? He saved the ball under the post and rolled himself back over that try line to make sure he got back into the field. Possession return for his team. And we talked before the game about what Leeds needed to do. Improve the discipline, not conceding needless penalties. Sometimes they happen by accident. Players bump into one another, occasionally accidental high tackles. But that's one there that they will reflect upon and say, we could have avoided, conceded a penalty and making life so easy for our opponents to get 15, 20 metres from the line.
Let Saints off the hook there, because they could have trapped Coote, didn't, and then conceded the penalty. And here is Walmsley now.
Nice and easy look at that Walmsley, then Thompson. They love it, don't they? They love the physical aspect of the game.
Aaron Smith, Johnny Lomax to Zeb Taylor. Powerful run from him, but Dwyer just managed to cling on. Here is Lomax now. Lomax running into a bit of a cul-de-sac and doesn't do Coote any favours. 6-all Huddersfield-Wigan. 5th tackle, and Lomax put under a bit of pressure, but launches the kick cross-field, and the ball is knocked down. It's a Makinson knock-on, I think.
You know, the Leeds Rhinos will get the ball back close to the line. Tommy Makinson, the man who's adjudged by the referee, Ben Fairley, to have touched the ball first. It goes forward off his left hand. Whenever you play against Saints, Bill, you've got to make sure the first thing you've got to do is make sure your defence is good around the ruck, because that's the weakness, that's the focal point for their attack. Once they think that they've got you, then they'll look to shift you. And if the ball goes away from you, you've got to make sure that you push out and support your teammate that's next to you.
Tom Briscoe. And now Singleton. But St Helens as enthusiastic in defence as they are in attack. Here is Callum Watkins. Penultimate game for the Leeds Rhinos captain. Myler pass on to Conrad Hurrell. Hurrell still battling his way forward. was Farge who stopped his progress. Fifth tackle, Myler onto Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe launches this one, but there's no sun in the eyes at the back for the Saints rear guard. Still, they managed to drop the ball.
Well, there's a knock on there. He's found that, Ben Fairley. It was a really high kick, and he came from a long way, didn't he, Lachlan Coote? Seemed confident when he went up, but as you can clearly see there, he never quite has hold of it. And Liam Sutcliffe, small things, small efforts. If Liam Sutcliffe isn't in the frame, Lachlan Coote might have just caught that free. Had a wonderful year, hasn't he, Lachlan Coote? Covered that up the gap that Ben Barber has made, and then some.
A rare error then from the Saints fullback. Here's Dwyer then. Can Leeds capitalise on that? Dwyer doing well, keeping the ball alive. Back into the middle for Singleton. Walmsley and Smith with the tackle. Luke Thompson joins in, managing to stop the Cumbrians' progress. Dwyer, little dummy! Dwyer, try! What a response from Leeds. And Brad Dwyer, who has been outstanding in recent weeks for the Leeds Rhinos, poaches a try there and caught Saints napping.
Well, they found something, haven't they, the Leeds Rhinos? It came off the back of a mistake from the dependable Lachlan Coote. Liam Sutcliffe in the eye line of the Saints fullback. And Brad Dwyer, who was outside of the scrum, has been involved in the first play and then gets involved in eventually the try-scoring opportunity that Leeds Rhinos are presented with. You know he's going to go, you know he's going to dummy. And unlike last week, Leeds Rhinos have the luxury of having Matt Parcell, who's a little bit more methodical in what he brings to the team, but the spark comes from Brad Dwyer.
Sutcliffe with the conversion attempt after Dwyer's try, only his second of the season. And Leeds 12-6.
I think he's lost Wolfie.
They're getting their money's worth, aren't they, out of the plane. Saints there, but they've got a long way to go in this game. Justin Holbrook's men. Good response from the Leeds Rhinos after that blizzard of points from Saints early on.
If there was an award for optimistic, positive and enthusiastic players, he'd be on the shortlist of the Super League. He brings so much energy to his performances. Even his post-match interviews are full of optimism and fun, really. He is a positive guy, and that's certainly lifted them now. It's been about their only way of recent weeks that they've scored, but Conrad Hurrell's looked good too on the side. Harry Newman's been given some chances. They were 12-0 down, they're 12-6. But I'd say, all in all, it's been a good start for Leeds, really, when they've been in possession. They've moved the ball around, they've had players moving quickly.
Well, the first 4 minutes were not good for Leeds.
First 2 times that Saints had the ball, they scored tries, didn't they? But when Leeds have the ball up the other end of the field, yeah, they'll cause some damage. That man will cause some damage. When he's lost the ball, and maybe cause some damage to his own teammates. He's the player that does set the team going forward. He's made more tackle busts than any of his other teammates.
Sorry about that, I like that. Trent Merrin gets hold of Conrad Hurrell, picks him up. Come on, forget about that, get on with what we need to do next.
Well, he looked totally dejected.
He did, but he hasn't got time to be dejected, otherwise they'll score a try, Saints. And what he does
dejected.
here, that, people talk about leadership, that's leadership. Get up, get on with your job. Don't feel sorry for yourself.
He's done a lot of that this season as Trent Merrin. As I said, try against Wigan last week, could have had 2. Here is Mark Percival, though. Saints looking to capitalise, just as Leeds did short time ago when Saints spilled the ball. Here is Walmsley taking that short pass from Aaron Smith. McCarthy, Scarsbrook fancies a charge, fancies a second. And bang in front of those posts, only a couple of metres away from the try line. Farge, but Leeds shut the door on him. 4 tackles gone. Smith, Walmsley, short ball on again. Leeds stick to their task and stop Thompson at close range. What can Saints come up with now? They're going to go wide, they're going to go over, and Coote is going to get the try.
Coots atoning for the error at the other end that allowed Leeds to go in for the try. Comes up with one for Justin Holbrook's side, his 11th of this season. On attack, Saints take some stopping, Phil.
Well, Saints are without the number 1 hooker, but the number 2 standing, Aaron Smith, done pretty good. Just look at the quality of the pass here. It's probably the most important thing from rugby league. Conrad Hurrell loses possession. They have to defend the other own line. They get towards the end of the set here, and the quality of the pass there, the width which at the time it invited Lomax and Coote there to embarrass the Leeds defence. Don't have enough players in the right spaces. And look, that's just too easy. He walks in again between 2 players just on the outside of Sutcliffe.
When you defend against Saints, you've always got to deal with the running threat, the option. When Johnny Lomax looks to give that ball out the back, he passes it. There's a committed defender that runs through. And I think it's Zeb Taylor. He obviously gets the focus of the Leeds Rhinos defender. He just holds Sutcliffe up, and then he just haven't got the pace then to get to Lachlan Coote to prevent that try being scored.
6 consecutive appearances. Lachlan Coote has scored tries in, never mind kick goals. And there's another goal. 18-6, quarter of the game almost gone.
Well, this is outstanding from St Helens. The line from Zeb Taylor just interests Liam Sutcliffe enough. He just bites in ever so much on his heels, and then that split second, fraction of a second, is all Lachlan Coote needs. Lethal.
Farge underneath the restart. More Betfred Super League action coming up on Sky Sports tomorrow. Sky Sports action at 5 o'clock for the Catalan Dragons against Hull FC. Aaron Smith, and here's Lomax, and here's Zeb Taylor, and here's Mark Percival, and they really do like that side of the field.
Well, he's outstanding, isn't he, Mark Percival? It's going to be a tough task for Harry Newman against him.
Welsh wing wonder. Regan Grace, Smith, Farge, Peru. And Leeds rolled back again to their own try line as Farge puts a little kick in, and somehow it's Sutcliffe, I think, it's Walker, I beg your pardon, who managed to get there.
Brilliant by the young fullback there. He's brave, he had to be. Ball bounced up for him, and he saved a certain 6 points that St Helens thought they were going to add to the scoreboard.
Well, he's dynamic at the back, isn't he? He's brave as well. Not the biggest of fullbacks.
That was great work from young Jack Walker.
Got hold of him. Go, 3.
Dwyer plays the ball. Wigan have gone 12-6 up against the Huddersfield Giants at John Smith Stadium, and Salford lead the Castleford Tigers 12-0. And at Warrington it's 6 points apiece. Warrington against Wakefield. Myler thumps that ball straight into the arms of Tommy Makinson. Not a good idea.
That is the last place you want to be kicking the ball. As we've said, it's not just the ferocity of his carries, it's what he gets. He's an average of 8.4 metres every time he carries the ball. But when he kicks return, when he returns kicks, should I say, he's looking at 15-20 metres at full tilt, and then his momentum is where Saints end up capitalising.
Percival. 3 there for Leeds to stop the centre's progress. Just getting back into the swing of things, Mark Percival, having been out for 6 games. Walmsley flings that ball backwards, and Farge it is who picks up, and now McCarthy Scarsbrook will try and deliver more punishment to the Leeds defence. Somehow smuggles the ball out. Look at that handling from Saints. Zeb Taylor keeps it alive. Walmsley, did he mean that? It goes on to Aaron Smith, and it was forward, I think, says referee Ben Thaler.
Couple of danger signs here. If you're a Leeds fan, you're a Leeds player, they're just sitting back and holding on the heels. Saints looking to offload the ball. They can sense the blood in the water, can't they? Alex Walmsley, where that ball just comes off him.
Is that forward, Stuart?
That's the one that is ruled forward. The call for it came from the sideline. The one that came off Alex Walmsley.
Stand aside, boys.
Sighs of relief from the Leeds supporters. Coach Justin Holbrook
Off. Out.
baffled by that decision.
One, move, Louis. Wait here, boys. Wait. Go.
Well, Leeds,
So 12-6 now at the AJ Bell Stadium. Castleford Tigers hitting back. Terry, sorry.
the exit sets from Leeds Rhinos are ever so important. They can't make a mistake near their own try line. See whether it's going to be the one-up carries. You've got to have somebody with you that's going to take the focus, the attention of another defender. Try and get a one-on-one, a quick play of the ball.
I think you said it in the studio before the game about having numbers around the ball carrier to make it not easy for defenders to nominate who's going to get it. But on the other side of that, Saints look very comfortable in defence, lots of energy.
Lots of energy there, too much from Zeb Taylor. Harry Newman is upended, and the penalty goes against St Helens.
Yeah, it just puts him in a dangerous position. But he doesn't let go, he doesn't drop the youngster on his head. You can see when he lifts him up, and then all of a sudden tries to put him down in a safe manner.
Well, it's the lift, isn't it, that you can see there. He's Mark Percival puts his hand between his legs, which contributes to the lift, and ends up going upside down and a dangerous tackle.
So the penalty, and there's another penalty for
The late challenge
shot, yeah.
Come here.
Brad Dwyer.
Come here.
and Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, I think, has said something.
Is he your captain? Johnny, the ball's clearly gone. Do me a favour, everything, no matter what, I have him going on. Right? I'm just going to be a penalty, that is it, the ball has gone. Get him to shut up.
It's LMS, what does he
He
expect?
never shuts up, man. Look at him, he's still
going
cracking
now.
off. Well, the thing is, nobody understands it. It's that foreign language called Cockney. It's actually Alex Walmsley who puts the late challenge in. A bit of good ball now for Leeds Rhinos. Let's see how St Helens handle
Ready? Go.
some more attack from the Rhinos.
Here's Oledzki now.
Well, he's got a point to prove. He was on the bench last week, didn't get on against Wigan, didn't he?
Warrington have gone ahead 10-6 against Wakefield. Saints fans thought there was a knock on there by the visitors.
4, move, Luke.
4 tackles gone.
Go for.
Siu Manafanai plays the ball. Good defence once more from Saints.
Johnny.
That's the 5th tackle. Callum Watkins,
Let him get off, yeah. Go. Don't hold
as
him in.
Newman
Fine.
plays the ball. Watkins, Sutcliffe, little kick from him. Ricochets off Coote, knock on.
Sit his leg, then he sits
Coote
down, knock on.
protests, almost as though he meant to play that with his chest.
Well, Ben Taylor's view is that it came off his foot onto his arm, and that's why he's called a knock on there.
Well, a couple of mistakes from Saints fullback in the opening 26 minutes of this game.
Fine, boys.
Couldn't deal with the high kick, then couldn't deal with that low kick. The referee in a decent position. Ben Thaler.
Let's bang, please.
So, Leeds
Okay, let's bang.
given a great opportunity.
You're right, they've been outplayed clearly for almost half an hour, and yet, with a little bit of luck and some skill here, they can get themselves back to 18-12.
Conrad Hurrell trying to get around Nagama, but the Fijian international makes the tackle with some assistance. Ferris, I think it is, trying his luck. Again, Saints are equal to it. So Luke Briscoe, Richard Myler. Here is Dwyer in the middle of the field. Dwyer trying to wrestle his way free and has lost the ball.
Get his hand on the ball.
He's just trying to get an arm free, I think, to get the pass away.
Well, on the third play, first of all, the first play, you're looking at Conrad Hurrell, getting him and lining him up against Theo Fies. Then they go back to the centre.
I would credit the defence there. They've taken 10, 12 metres off Leeds Rhinos. There might be a question mark on whether that ball has helped out, but the effort for St Helens, get up quick in the faces of those Rhinos players. I would say they've forced that mistake.
Was that legitimate, Stuart?
Well, there's hands around the ball. I would say again, it's probably a loose carry by Dwyer.
So Leeds can't capitalise, and this is the sort of game, Terry, where they're going to have to live off crumbs, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just going to have to keep picking on. They can't give penalties away. So they've had the ball, they make a mistake on the third play in front of the sticks, then they give a penalty away. So Ben Thaler, well, you'll have referees, they'll try and work with players, but you've got to be disciplined as well. No matter how frustrated you're getting called, that you think might go against you.
Ready, boys. Go.
Origin 2 coming up on Sunday morning, 10 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena. And can New South Wales keep the series alive? That's good defence. Mistake from St Helens. Aletsky applauds. McCarthy Scarsbrook losing possession. Wasn't Louis, was it? I think it was Louis who lost possession.
Well, you just want a defensive win. Leeds Rhinos managing to deal with that. And Brad Dwyer, we've saw over the recent weeks that he's played on Sky Sports, the energy that he has. And if you play against big men who carry the ball closer, you've got to make sure you chop them down, whether that be LMS or Walmsley or Thompson. Get off the mark and just try and hit them underneath that ball.
One move, Louis!
So Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook quickly in to try and make amends for that. Here is Ava Siumanafanai, the former Cronulla man, who's made a good impression since coming to the club from Cronulla. Dwyer.
I agree, Bill. He's just leaving the field now. Adam Cuthbertson, he will add a little bit of variety. We know about his offloads and creativity, and obviously scored some crucial tries last week.
He's lost that.
He's lost that ball. He looked for an offload, didn't he?
Got away with that. Sutcliffe hoists that one into a sunny area of the field, but Grace is there, and Leeds were offside.
That's one of those, yeah, it's one of those penalties that I said that they've spoken about so many games this season. Look like Miklaj Oledzki there, the guy just crossing the red and white line. He's in front of the kick, and he gets involved in the tackle, so they've lost 30 metres. They've done that too many times this season.
Saints crossing the halfway line. The leaders by 6 points from the Warrington Wolves, who they meet next week, as the aeroplane above the ground has reminded us. Up against the Leeds Rhinos, second from bottom in the Super League table, only on points difference from Hull Kingston Rovers. Farge now, here's Lomax. Sutcliffe quick to close him down. Next up for Leeds, the Catalan Dragons. Here's Matty Lees.
Wait here, please. Wait here. Go 5.
Cute little kick, little chip kick. And Tom Briscoe, well, it wasn't Briscoe, it was Jack Walker, and
he was offside.
The ball goes forward, doesn't it, from a Leeds player then? From Jack Walker, who loses the possession.
Harry Newman ends up with
it up, so that's why he's offside in front of him. I tell you what, though, nice variety here with St Helens in the kicks. Some high, some low. They're mixing it up, doing it in different parts of the field.
This could be painful for the Leeds Rhinos, conceding a penalty only about a few metres from their try line. There's a side that's going to capitalise on it. It's St Helens. Here's Dominique Peru. Great season he's having. He's missed only one game as he plays that ball, but Saints have spilled it, and Leeds come up with it, and it's in the hands of Brett Ferris.
Well, it's Matty Lees who loses the ball. He only knows how to come onto the ball, and that's 100 mile an hour. He can't take the ball in, relieves that pressure for the Leeds Rhinos, but again, where they're bringing the ball away from is their own red zone.
One move!
The sparring partners on as we see the mistake again. Matty Lees in 19, Jack Ashworth in 22, young firecracker forwards. I really enjoy watching those players play their game. You know, before the match, the academy was on as a curtain raiser. Jack Wellsby scored 2 tries in an impressive performance. They didn't win, but they've got a lot of cabs ready to come off that rank, St Helens.
Wait there, please.
Richie Myler just
Wait there, 3. Wait there,
asking
Rich.
Ben Thaler whether he needed to play the ball, and yes, says the referee, play it. Tackle was made. Here's Sutcliffe now.
4, move, Johnny! Okay, Matt, 4. Go.
St Helens ahead, 18 points to 6.
5, move, Adam! We've done last one, done back here, wait.
Here's Aledski, Dwyer, Sutcliffe with a good deep kick, and Coote underneath it. This time, comfortably claims that one. Fage and Makinson goes outside, comes back infield, where he's tackled by Dwyer.
That's outstanding there, the number of outside backs to get back and counter-attack as you receive the kick. Brilliant play from St Helens.
And here's Makinson again.
3, movement, Trent! 3.
Just over the halfway line now, St Helens. And now Thompson, Jack Ashworth, I beg your pardon, on the charge.
Go.
Coots, Lomax, Percival now. A real handful for the Leeds defenders, but Sutcliffe and Newman make the tackle. Lomax gets the kick away before he is tackled. Fage is chasing it. Myler it is underneath that one, and Myler manages to stay in the field of play.
Well, good play from Brad Dwyer, putting some pressure on Johnny Lomax. Yeah, he did get the kick away, and Jack Walker was good enough at the back to deal with that. But you can't sit back and let Saints just dominate where they kick that ball, and they look to target the youngster at the back, Jack Walker.
So last 5 minutes virtually of this first half that started in horrendous fashion for the Leeds Rhinos, conceding those early tries. They've conceded again, but not at the rate that it seemed that they might do so.
Well, they're certainly in with this game. If that clock was, the scoreboard was 24-6, then you think that Leeds are going to get blown away.
Hurrell's lost the ball in
Leeds.
Bill. Well, in Leeds' view, there was about 3 in the tackle there, but referee and touch judge said carry on, and they do. And Grace weaving his way infield. Watkins with a good tackle. Stewart.
He's got the ball before the other player came in, before Fage joined the tackle, so the ball was stripped just in time.
Penalty conceded by the Leeds Rhinos. Watkins just a little nudge, little second extra on the ankle.
Well, looking to play instead of going for the 2 points, then Lachlan Coote.
Looking to inflict more punishments on the Rhinos before the half-time hooter sounds, and Peru. Strength from Dom Peru, the Cook Islander. Smith, short pass, finds Ashworth, but Ashworth held up just short of that try line. Aaron Smith, here's Fage now. Fage ships the ball on, quick hands, but too quick. And it's Aledski who gathers for the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, there's 2 good reads in defence. First of all from Harry Newman. Then when Harry Newman goes in, Tom Briscoe comes in, forces the error. Here goes the youngster now, just trying to use his strength to get forward. Mark Percival just couldn't take that pass then.
Good determination from Harry Newman.
He's been tested tonight, and all the talk has been about Callum Watkins, and his successor, Harry Newman, has to step up to the plate now. He's taken over from a club legend, and he needs to put in a legend performance every week.
Conrad Hurrell left 2 Saints players on the deck there. One of them still down, Aaron Smith, I think it is.
When he runs, he hurts you, doesn't he? He's not the tallest, Conrad Hurrell, but he's one of the widest in Super League, in a good way.
I think Dom Peru felt, you can just see Dominic Peru at the bottom of the screen there. That ball's been spilled. Zeptea has picked it up. Has Zeptea got the pace? He has not. Walker manages to get hold of him.
Oh, blind offload, wasn't it, from Brad Dwyer then behind his back.
But Grace has got the pace. He can't get away, though, from Brett Ferris.
Well, once upon a time, he might have finished that, Zeb Taylor. Good determination from the young back, Jack Walker, and Leeds still defending the line.
Matty Leeds is tackled about 10 metres out. Lomax, short pass from him. Taylor again, but Leeds bring him down.
Go.
Smith. Ashworth. On to Matty Leeds. That's the 5th tackle. Can Leeds withstand this pressure with half-time approaching? Farge a little kick in. Still the last, says the referee. Nagama picks it up and hurtles straight back towards those posts. Nagama, that was forward to Coote. Coote is furious.
Well, they look tired, the Leeds Rhinos. It's a good job that the half-time hooter's gonna go. Brett Ferris, he was caught on the floor. The ball was passed a few times before he gets back up.
Well, the coach knows he's looking to find that killer punch, isn't it? 12 points isn't that much in a game of rugby league. 2 scores probably is just about forward. The referee has to make a decision, an instant one. And it's kept Leeds' hopes alive.
Huddersfield 12, Wigan Warriors 18. Latest score, Salford 18, Castleford Tigers 10. The AJ Bell. Half-time at Warrington 16-6 against Wakefield. Leeds can't retain possession there.
They can't buy a bit of luck, Leeds Rhinos, at the minute. They make a half break, look for a support player, and St Helens, with bodies in the frame, managed to pick up the loose pass. Here he is. He's done this on a number of occasions throughout 2019. There are people that go watching Leeds Rhinos that would love to see him in the clear and use those silky skills, but he's needed and used as a battering ram at the best of times.
Coote tackled by Sutcliffe. Just 30 seconds of the first half left. Saints on the attack once more. Dwyer, enthusiastic presence in this lead side with that tackle. Lomax, quick hands, lovely hands, and Makinson will do what he does best with a flying finish. But even that might have been too much for Tommy Makinson.
We have a try. Just
He's a
in the
flyer,
touchline,
isn't he?
please.
You know, he's running out of space. He's committed, he's determined. And he's one of the best in the business, isn't he? Knowing that Richie Myler is coming in, well, he just throws himself, Richie Myler. I think he's up in the air. Does he get the ball down?
Oh my Lord!
What unbelievable, isn't it?
That is ridiculous. He has no right to score that.
How do you even practice that? How do you practice that?
Tommy Makinson has produced another stunning finish on the stroke of half-time. Jaw-dropping acrobatics from the 2018 Golden Boot winner. 15th try of the season. It did not look possible.
Was he a gymnast when he was younger? Because I don't know how he gets himself into these positions. I don't know how he's flexible enough to finish a try like that. Look at that. Richie Myler tries to wipe him out, and that's the reaction from the coach. He doesn't even know how he does it. I would have loved to have tried one of them years ago.
I wouldn't have.
I would have ended up in row Z.
Coote from the sideline, 3 from 3, but this is the most difficult kick he's faced all evening. But he won't mind that because it was glorious skill from Tommy Makinson. But that's impressive skill from Lachlan Coote. That is a hammer blow for the Leeds Rhinos right on the break. They looked as though they might be able to weather the storm and go in at 18-6, but in the 40th minute of that first half, Makinson has got his 15th try of the season, and what a finish it was. That's what makes Saints so special and so dangerous, as the Leeds Rhinos are finding out tonight.
shock defeat for England today at Headingley in the Cricket World Cup. The action, though, continues tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Sky Sports Cricket World Cup. India, with 3 wins, take on no wins Afghanistan. 10 a.m. Sky Sports Cricket World Cup. Sky Sports Mix at 1 p.m. from Old Trafford. West Indies and New Zealand go head-to-head. On Sunday at Lords, it's Pakistan against South Africa. Back on Sky Sports Cricket World Cup for that. Our focus tonight is on round 19 of the Betfred Super League. 3 other fixtures in progress at the moment. They've all reached half-time. The Wigan Warriors with a 6-point lead over the Huddersfield Giants. Hankinson, O'Loughlin and Marshall with tries for the Warriors. Hewitt and Frawley were replying for Huddersfield. Salford led 6-0 against Castleford. Daniel Smith and Greg Minikin, Jordan Rankin hit back for Castleford. They trail 18-16 at half-time. Salford with a win will go into the top 5. Warrington 16-6 up against Wakefield. They went 6-0 down. Ben Curry, Josh Charnley and Mike Cooper hit back for the home side. Let's take you into the dressing rooms here at the Totally Wicked Stadium. First, a reminder of the half-time score. It's 24-6 to St Helens. A fascinating start for them. They blew Leeds away early in the game. They led 12-0 after just 3 minutes. Leeds, though, have had a say in that first half, despite trailing by 18 points on the scoreboard. Justin Holbrook, I'm sure, will not be happy with some aspects of his side's attack. The defence has been pretty good, just the 1 try conceded. Their attack, despite the fact they've scored 24 points, isn't at their polished best, something I'll talk to John Wells about shortly. What about the Leeds Rhinos and what will be going through the heads of their players and their interim coach, Richard Agar? They came here in round 3. They led 22-10 at half-time before being defeated 27-22. They'll be doing very well to keep the scoreline that close here as we focus on that first 40 minutes from round 19. There's a little bit of hope, you would suggest, for the Leeds Rhinos, a tiny bit of hope. They trail 8 by 18 points at half-time, but they may reflect on that first 40 minutes, John, and say there was chances we had to score that we left behind.
Yeah, it's been a frenetic first half, and I think Leeds have lacked a little bit of composure in attack. But do you know what? So have Saints at times, and I think that's why there's still something in this game. The trials was open as early as the first minute through
when
Kevin
you're second
Nagama.
Bottom, John, this is just it's a sinful start to a game.
It is, and the sun's in his eyes. Where we can see the pitch behind us, and it isn't great, but you've got to play with what you've got, and you expect that at this level. Then again on 3 minutes, Lou McCarthy-Scarsbrook back on the inside from Johnny Lomax. We'll have a closer look at that in a moment.
Brad Dwyer being beaten there by Johnny Lomax. Brad Dwyer crashed over from dummy half, catching Aaron Smith out before Lachlan Coote resumed the scoring in favour of the Saints.
Yeah, dynamo, Brad Dwyer, like I said, full of energy and enthusiasm, as Phil Clark said. This just looked a little too easy, though, for St Helens, didn't it?
And the final try, I mean, this was a remarkable try. Great pass from Johnny Lomax. We've seen it all along from Tommy Makinson. 3 tries last week against Huddersfield. His 15th try of the season, sorry, I beg your pardon, that's Coote's try. His 15th try of the season is this, as spectacular as you will see from Tommy Makinson.
I think all he's missing at this stage in his career is a cape, Brian. That's absolutely... I mean, we stood there. I was watching you when the try went in, and you just looked at the sky and went, "Wow!" And there's not an awful lot else you can say about that at the moment.
I mean, Terry O'Connor asked the question in commentary: "How do you do that?"
You don't.
I don't know
you
how
can't.
We'll have another look at this because he's got a highlights reel that continues to extend and extend and extend.
Give him a cape. Put him a cape on. That is world-class finishing from a world-class player.
Appropriately from the Golden Boot holder, Tommy Makinson, 15th Super League try of the season. You want to look at the anatomy of a St Helens score. You're going to take us to the second try of the game from Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Break this one down for us, John.
This is supposed to be the moment of the half. We know the moment of the half happened on 40 minutes. But I've got something from the 3rd minute to show you. And this was the build-up to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook's try. Now, there is nothing groundbreaking about this. A lot of teams trying to do it. Saints do it better and more consistently than anybody else. Send in a big man, Luke Thompson. But it's more than that. There's a subtlety to this. Just here. See the break. The break and the step on the catch, and he's now angling back in at this sort of area behind the ruck. And he wins the play the ball. What do Saints do, as do so many teams when they have a ruck there that's scattered as it is? I mean, that's clearly not set. And by the way, keep an eye on Brad Dwyer. That's somebody we're going to revisit in just a second. Now they run. Now they take a static line defence. What do they do after the run with a nice little inside ball? Now they play. Johnny Lomax is on this short side here, and he's already organising troops back on the inside. Just have a look at Johnny Lomax. He wants a man on the inside of him. Luke Thompson comes to join Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Brad Dwyer, we said we'd have a remember his name. He was beaten at the ruck. He's come all this way back here, and he's now having to turn and address what's happening on this front side. Johnny Lomax knows that. He's prepared.
And will be immediately concerned with those attackers standing on the inside. Louis McCarthy's cars book.
Because they were just beaten with an inside ball less than 5 seconds ago. So I mean, it's going to be in his head. But also, at the point at which the ball goes, Brad Dwyer now, he's really, really concerned with these two players. He actually masks it pretty well, does Brad Dwyer, because I don't think there's an awful lot of telling that. The other thing that Johnny Lomax does really well, this is the bit, so this is the now bit where we get to the kind of A+ section. So all the rest of the stuff we've seen, other teams do that. Saints do it better. Johnny Lomax has got a skip. We know he's got a skip on his catch. I think it's exceptional what he does, the timing. So it's here, and then that little skip to the outside. He looked to the inside. It held Brad Dwyer up for a second. The ball on the outside sends Liam Sutcliffe onto Zeb Taylor, and then Lomax is straight the way through. But it's, at first instance, it looks like a missed tackle. There is so much more to this, and there is so much more to the way that Saints play than that. And you can trace it back to 2 or 3 plays behind. Brad Dwyer left on the floor, ball back on the inside. This much we know, this much is commonplace. They split the halves, by the way, they split the halves very well. Have a look at this, just as an indicator for the second half. Theo Fage and Johnny Lomax, a wide ball. Now, that's something that they've looked to exploit throughout this first 40 minutes. And I think he was exceptionally done there.
All right, they trail by 18 points at half-time. Can you see a way for the Leeds Rhinos back into this game, or do St Helens become even more clinical in the second half and pile on the points?
Well, no, I don't. I think St Helens will win. I think the message from both coaches will be just settle down. And I think that's the only danger for St Helens is if they try and win this game again.
Yeah, it might be a danger for the Leeds Rhinos if St Helens do settle into this game. You're right, frenetic first 40 minutes. We've got 40 more on the way from the Totally Wicked Stadium. In St Helens, the home side have got a healthy half-time lead over the Leeds Rhinos, who are second at bottom on the table. Relegation, the word surrounding the Rhinos in 2019. What have they got in the second 40 minutes? We'll find out. Bill and the boys standing by after this break.
Perth is the venue for Game 2 in the State of Origin series. New South Wales looking to square the series. You can see it from 10 a.m. on Sky Sports Arena on Sunday. We saw some flying finishes in that promotion of that game, but nothing to match that from Tommy Makinson on the stroke of half-time for St Helens, who lead by 24 points to 6. The Flying Saint has helped the Super League leaders take a strong grip on this game, although Leeds, until Makinson struck there, must have thought that they were still in with a chance, and they are, but they've got to find something in this second half, early stages of this second half, to give themselves hope.
Well, a couple of half chances in the half breaks from Conrad Hurrell. They get down there the line, they're having opportunities, but not managing to get that final pass away to trouble Saints and score some points.
As it is, St Helens lead 24 points to 6 as the second half gets underway, and Leeds will have the setting sun at their back. Still a beautiful evening at the Totally Wicked Stadium. Looks a bit like summer.
Could be the future for this game, Bill. Summer rugby. Move it to the summer. Move it to when it's sunny, dry, and we can see the skills and the finish of Tommy Makinson.
Well, that kick is launched, and nobody's interested in St Helens colours, and that's a good call because it's come up for Kevin Nagama. Not the best kick from the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, Brad Dwyer just trying to get the ball away to the players over on the left-hand side. Saints again just looking to roll forward here through Kyle Amor.
Warrington 22-6 ahead against Wakefield, who did lead early on in that game. Kyle Amor on the field. Over the halfway line come St Helens. And here is Lomax now. Zebtea, who has been a strong presence, but he's lost the ball. Cuthbertson's lost the ball and back for the first knock-on, which was by Zebtea.
Well, Brad Dwyer seems to be in everything, doesn't he? I think he's the man who's involved over the top. Maybe he gets a hand in, loose carry from Zebtea. Saw Jack Ashworth when he goes in, when he went into the tackle, gets his arm free, looking for that second phase rugby the Saints are renowned for in the game.
Second half just underway. Let's get the half-time news down to the sidelines and Angela Powers.
Well, from Justin Holbrook's point of view, there were echoes of that game in February at the start of this game. A great start, but Leeds bounced back. They've got to make sure that they keep control, though. He's happy with the way the first half ended, but it's about keeping focused and working really hard for each other. Now, you can imagine Richard Agar, horror start, he said, to that first half. They failed to fight fire with fire. The game can go one of two ways, he says. If they cut out the errors, Saints can't punish them. And if they put on the performance, the scoreboard will look after itself.
So the Leeds coach has faith. Can his side justify that? Here is Tom Briscoe with a weaving run, more lateral. Now into the middle of the field, but there they go again, losing possession.
There's a knock-on here. I think there's a knock-on here from Aaron Smith. Trent Merrin, he's looking to offload the ball, he looks to tip it on, it comes off Aaron Smith's left hand.
Line boys, please, fellas. Line here, boys.
See, they need some support. Mikolaj Oledzki, it is who's pushing up. He looks to punch a hole through the defensive line, but comes off Smith's hand.
Aaron Smith, a lot on his shoulders with James Roby out injured at the moment. Wigan 22-12 the scoreline at the John Smith's Stadium. Brett Ferris now reversing despite the attentions of the Saints defenders, who eventually bring him down. Farge and Lou McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Here is Adam Cuthbertson now. Cuthbertson taking it into the collision zone and then looking to offload it, but Amor making sure that he can't do that. And then just trying a bit too hard, holding a bit too long. Another penalty for Leeds.
But good strength from Adam Cuthbertson. He didn't want to be dominated, didn't want to be turned on his back, and kept his feet.
Here's Merrin. Try scorer against Wigan last week. They could do something with something from him now. Here's Dwyer. Dwyer's pass. But Cuthbertson again. Kyle Amor is there. Coote lends a hand. Dwyer. Myler, quick hands from him. Hurrell, lovely pass. And can Briscoe get it down? Luke Briscoe it is. And it's what Leeds needed at the start of the second half. And they've got it. But what about that pass from Conrad Hurrell? Fired out and taken by Luke Briscoe, making his first Super League appearance of the season and getting his first Super League try of the season. Played against Workington in the Challenge Cup just before Easter, but has been playing Championship Rugby League until tonight.
Well, look at the strength from Adam Cuthbertson here. He's got three front rowers around him. He won't give up his legs. He won't be taken to ground. He get the penalty. And what about this? The class from Conrad Hurrell. If you're the winger who's going to be playing outside the Tongan International, there's one thing for sure. You're going to score some tries. He attracts defenders. Not only does he attract his centre, he attracts the winger as well.
There's no surprise that Leeds Rhinos' top try scorer, Ash Hanley, plays on that left side outside Conrad Hurrell. Yes, he's powerful. Yes, he's a battering ram that will eat up those metres, but he's got a lovely roll and offload, and he can draw and pass as well. And Luke Briscoe, he did well not to mess that up. He almost got tackled by the fullback from St Helens, but Leeds Rhinos, they get the first try of the second half.
Sutcliffe pushes it across the face of the post. 24-10. Luke Briscoe, first try of this campaign.
Well, this is one of my favourite tries that Leeds have scored this season because the intelligence and the deception involved in that. Very often teams pass the ball behind or in front of one of their teammates to the man outside him. There were two players. It went the two players in front of both of them to Conrad Hurrell. And 5 players against 4 defenders. They managed to find the right people at the right time and put on some points there. Good spirit there from the Rhinos.
That's the lift Leeds needed at the start of this second half to try and challenge St Helens in this game. 24-10. Defiant response. Wigan have extended their lead against Huddersfield. 24-12 now at the John Smiths. Here is Conrad Hurrell. He's got the appetite for it tonight.
He's so strong, isn't he? Playing in centre, got a lot of speed about him. Trent Merrin at the line. They look good at times, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And Newman trying to get away from Johnny Lomax. Can't do that, but they get a bit of pace in this attack. Here's Aletsky now. Back in the side, having missed out last week. And Sutcliffe places that kick. Coote, oh, Coote gets ahead of Sutcliffe, I think it was.
Well, he nearly comes down with it as well, doesn't he, Liam Sutcliffe? He's the man who kicks the ball. He's the man who chases Lachlan Coote, the player who's made a couple of uncharacteristic errors in this game.
Makinson. Here is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook trying his footwork, trying the offload, has lost the ball. And Merrin and Ferris.
He flicked the ball back that way.
Or did he?
Oh, the call's gone against Brad Dwyer. McCarthy-Scarsbrook passes the ball backwards and it's been ruled that Brad Dwyer knocks the ball on.
Shot clock's on.
Well, Brad Dwyer knocks that ball back towards his own try line. Look, when he goes in here, he gets the offload away. Brad Dwyer hits it.
Then it goes forward.
I think it goes backwards from Brad Dwyer.
Either way, I'm going back to what Angela Powers said. Justin Holbrook said to his side, keep control, maintain that control. There's a danger here that Saints could fall into the trap of throwing those passes, taking those risks that don't come off. When St Helens are good, they're electric, but they're vulnerable like any other side. If they do too much defending, then they could get into a real dogfight here with Leeds.
Well, St Helens have won 16 of their 18 Super League fixtures this season, and Leeds have won just 6, so that illustrates why Saints are top of the table and Leeds are finding themselves in a relegation battle. And one thing Leeds don't want to do is lose heavily. They don't want to lose here to start with, but they don't want to ship a whole load of points, because points difference could well come into it down there at the bottom of the table. Now then, Makinson, oh, little flip back inside to Nagama. Couldn't get in there this time. Coote drifting across field. The crowd now expecting some fireworks every time.
Great work from Richie Myler there, makes that tackle. As Leeds try and get further upfield, he makes that tackle. A succession of offloads from Saints. And they're still in the fight here, aren't they, Leeds? Not giving up.
Good defensive scrambling from the Leeds Rhinos. They've shown plenty of that in recent weeks, which has given Richard Agar hope. Matt Parcell out there, he's back in the side after 2 games out through suspension, having collided with the referee James Child during the Rhinos' magic game at Anfield.
Twice he collided with him.
Here's Callum Watkins. Watkins and now Newman. Newman gets the pass away. Cuthbertson now. 4 tackles gone. Get up, says referee Ben Thaler, as Adam Cuthbertson tries to hoodwink him. Matt Parcell. Sutcliffe, but that kick's gone straight up in the air virtually. Hurrell, little shove by Hurrell, and it's with Luke Briscoe, but Briscoe is bundled into touch from Tommy Makinson, but they'll come back for the turnover.
Well, not the kick that they were after then, it needed to be a bit deeper. It was a lucky bounce, Tommy Makinson couldn't get it. Luke Briscoe could. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't get to the try line. Defensive attitude could be key in the next 10 minutes for the Rhinos. At this point, they're still in this game. 14 points is not beyond them.
Lomax is brought down. Here's Zebtea once again. 40 metres line in the Saints half. Here is Kyle Amor now. Once of the Leeds Rhinos, made 3 appearances for the club after his move from Cumbria. Kick over the top, straight into the hands of Jack Walker.
Well, good positioning from the youngster then. Lachlan Coote thought he saw some space then on the 4th tackle. And this is where they get you the speed of the defensive line from a great kick, a good chase, and then all of a sudden you're looking up the field, you've got 90 metres to go, and you hit with a white wall like that.
This is great defensive work from St Helens, but Luke Briscoe trying his hardest to win some ground and doing a good job. Here is Parcell now.
Well, never give up, and that's what the winger did then. Luke Briscoe looked to give the ball to one of his teammates.
Oledzki now. Still inside their own half, and that's the 5th tackle. Sutcliffe, this time he's put in a better kick, and it's a testing kick, and Hurrell has batted the ball back, but it's Fage who collects it, and Fage will counter, and there's a bit of open space, not for long.
Well, more numbers for the Leeds Rhinos then when that ball was kicked. You saw Tommy Makinson, Lachlan Coote not going for the ball, it bounces backwards. Conrad Hurrell's looking to tap the ball to somebody, but nobody there with him.
Alex Walmsley's on for St Helens now so many times. His reintroduction really sparks and ignites Saints' performances.
Here's Regan Grace looking for a gap in the Leeds line that he can exploit with that acceleration that he's got. Walmsley, maybe not such acceleration, although he would dispute that. But he's still going to make a dent. Merrin manages to stop him. Fage, little chip kick over the top. Coote is chasing. Brave work from Jack Walker. He did well there, did the fullback.
Well, under pressure to get down on that ball then, knowing that the Scottish international was just breathing down on him. Look at the pressure that they're under at the back end. He comes up with the ball, doesn't he? And there goes Matt Parcell now, trying to inject some speed into the attack.
Here's Luke Briscoe. Only points to the second half so far to the Leeds Rhinos. That Luke Briscoe try. That's a plus for Richard Agar's side. Myler hoists another kick. Coote underneath this one. Claims it and gets the pass away. Makinson, but Makinson's going nowhere with Conrad Hurrell facing him.
Good kick from Myler, spiralling kick, and a good chase off the back of it. Now to control these first 3 tackles has to be the focus. The Saints, first of all, they brought Walmsley back on. Now Thompson just trots on the field and he's looking for his first impact.
Grace again, weaving his way across the field. Smith, here is Luke Thompson. And these two, Walmsley and Thompson, caused real damage in the game in February when Leeds were very much in it, and then Walmsley and Thompson went to work and changed the course of the game. Zebtea has lost that, he's hurt.
He's out there, I'm pretty sure.
Time is off.
Pretty sure after the initial defender comes in.
There's not many times you ever see Zebtea lying on the floor like that, is there? Oledzki, the Saints fans have saw this on the big screen.
Make sure.
So it'll be a penalty.
Make sure when you've got the ball.
Well, no, the video referee will only come in if he believes that warrants a sin bin or a red card, and I don't think it does. So we'll just carry on with the decision made on field, and that will be for a scrum down.
Yeah, well, he's a big player, isn't he, Oledzki? No, I said that before, that didn't get on the field last week. 80 minutes, nervous minutes, waiting for the the OK to go from the coach, Richard Agard. He comes across. I'm not sure there's any intent realistically in that.
The big players in the middle, they give it and they take it. There's no doubt about that. But to see Zeb Taylor stay down, that tells you that that's hit him and hurt. Whoa, just look at him there. Is it his shoulder?
Looks like his shoulder.
Yeah, you can see. He did put his forearm up to stop.
I don't even blame Aletsky for that.
No. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a shoulder issue. Maybe shoulders out the socket, out the joint, when he was trying to put a shield up against the defender. I think it was Aletsky that he was pushing off with his back of his forearm, but yeah, they sting a bit then.
Zeb Taylor has had a strong game for Saints tonight, but that looked as though that might be the end of his contribution this evening.
Well, it gives us a chance perhaps to see James Bentley a little bit earlier than we may have done. He's been on, played a bit of hooker, but he's a back rower, and I think he's an exciting prospect for the next decade here at Saints.
Conrad Hurrell, there's a penalty, and Saints is taking their time.
Well, hard to handle Conrad Hurrell. He gets his hands on the ball. You're trying to slow him down. Look at the power that he's got trying to get up. You've got defenders that aren't set. They're not set at marker. They're not set 10 metres back with the referee.
So Leeds having a good spell in the game here, but Dominic Peru is still out there and leaves his mark on young Harry Newman. Siu Manafanai has returned to the action.
He was good in his first stint, wasn't he? Siu Manafanai. Nice and direct.
Myler, ball on the inside to Walker. Walker tracked by Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. And LMS makes the tackle. Here is Cuthbertson now. Will again head for the conflict zone and get the ball away to Parcell. Right in front of those Saints posts. Leeds looking once more. Donaldson cut down by Lomax's tackle.
Good read from Johnny Lomax.
The ball with Newman. Oh, Newman's got good footwork. Peru didn't read it well.
Yeah, well, wrong-footed, wasn't he? Dominic Peru, and he set off like a steam train towards that sideline. And Harry Newman, when he gets the ball, he has a big, strong step off his right foot, knowing that Dominic Peru is heading towards those sidelines, his hips, his shoulders.
There's nothing in that, is there? There's nothing in that. You have to say that Peru lunges at that, hits on the shoulder, the back of the arm, and because of, I think, momentum, and he ends up being on the other side of the tackle, and Ben Thaler sees it the same way.
It's a lunging arm more than a swinging arm.
Hey, get off. Time is up, a call off.
Ben Thaler, as ever, to the point with his charges. Leeds were looking for a form of punishment for the Saints player. Nothing doing. But Cuthbertson seeking to... Here we go. Ferris is in there as well, and Cuthbertson it was who was looking for retribution.
Well, this has all come from Zeb Taylor, this. Zeb Taylor leaves the field, and then his second-row partner, Dominic Peru, is involved. A little bit of a challenge, and then the next play to take the carry forward is young James Bentley.
Well, Alex Walmsley and Brett Ferris, both of them are still into each other, sledging each other. This might just take the game up another level. Well, for the next 5 or 10 minutes anyway.
Time's off.
It's high from Cuthbertson. Footwork again does the bigger man. And then Alex Walmsley steps in and says, I'm not having that.
Well, the enforcer, Alex Walmsley, coming in to help out the youngster James Bentley. Both eyeballing each other.
I don't need people running like that. Okay, thanks. Have a word with them too.
Captains Watkins and Lomax giving a talking to. Saints get the penalty.
Well, this is a part of the game I love. From a coming together, who's going to carry the ball next? This is where you earn your money.
I'm going to say Walmsley or Thompson.
The wingers will go and stand on the wing. The half-backs will stay out
the tackles. Stand out wide and count the tackles.
Well done, that youngster.
Yeah.
It's James Bentley,
well
and they
done.
lose it. The ball's gone backwards, says the referee. Leeds have it. And here is Cuthbertson. And Cuthbertson might have a big target on his back as well. Saints fans unhappy. They might be unhappier still if Leeds can make the most of this, because here's Conrad Hurrell, Grace clinging on. Luke Briscoe. Here is Siu Manafanai.
Some of Leeds' attacking shape's been brilliant in the last 5 minutes. Can they find a way over the line?
Parcell to Myler. Myler on to Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe tries to get the pass away, but it comes up for the Saints.
It was on, wasn't it? Jack Walker was supporting him then.
Do you know what, 24-16, they will get the Saints a little bit nervous. Looked like it was going to be so comfortable at the time, but they won't go where Leeds. He attempts to pass back inside. Walker was hoping for the ball, but Sutcliffe couldn't find him.
When he supports Jack Walker, he runs onto the ball at 1,000 miles an hour. He's not a holding player. Lachlan Coote finds himself in the right place and then holds to support, as we see another upending tackle from Dominic Peru.
Peru, whose tackle maybe has ignited this game in a roundabout way. Big game tomorrow from the south of France. 5 o'clock Sky Sports action, and two of the top 5 contenders. Well, they're in there at the moment, the Catalan Dragons and Hull FC. You can see that one. It's going to be quite warm down there. It's pretty warm here.
Well, good work from James Donaldson, then cutting down the big man Walmsley.
Watkins with the tackle, looking for a big end to his Leeds career is Callum Watkins. It's Walker, there's pressure on the full-back and he's managed to get out of trouble, or has he?
Yeah, he's got out. Great work, great commitment from the young full-back, and look at Saints now in defence.
This game, like the south of France, is hotting up. Here is Tom Briscoe now, sees off the first challenge.
That's good work by Leeds' outsides backs. First of all, it's Jack Walker to get back into the field of play. And then the Briscoe boys who managed to get the ball away from the try line. Now Conrad Hurrell.
The Briscoe boys. They're in town with the Leeds Rhinos, who are still in this contest, 24-10.
You said that like there were a couple of gunslingers, but
that's what comes to mind. Grace. Nagama it was, I beg your pardon, on halfway. Peru, puff of the cheeks from Dom Peru.
Well, the tackles from the Rhinos are starting to stick as well. One who's falling off them in the first half.
Big effort from Leeds in this second half. Walmsley is upended and has knocked on Donaldson, who's giving away. I don't know what, but he's giving away a lot. That's a great
He's been
tackle.
excellent. He's been excellent. He's marked him. Every time that he gets the ball, Walmsley, he's eyeing him up. His technique is really good. He picks him up, he drops him and forces the error.
Well, we saw Zebtea going off. I think we can get news of that from Angela.
Yeah, it's a very physical game, isn't it? And there's some people showing the effects of that. We've got a yes, a maybe, and a no in terms of who's coming back. A yes coming back. Trent Merrinee's okay to come back on, even though he's had some more strapping to his knee. And maybe Mark Percival, who came off with a bit of a tight thigh, but a definite no to Zebtea with an arm injury.
So Taya out. That Mark Percival injury is a problem for St Helens, because he was looking really threatening in the first half. Saints fans appealing for a knock-on by Leeds there. Great work from Tom Briscoe, ducking under the first challenge.
It looked like there was a knock-on from Saints as well. I think it was Theo Fires who dropped the ball. Conrad Hurrell wanting to get hold of the ball. Again, it's the offload from Leeds Rhinos. I'm sure Richard Agar, if they do get their arm free, yeah, he won't stop them. Keep promoting the ball, but make sure you try and get it to a teammate. Hasn't he injected some pace and power? Donaldson.
James Donaldson, who was released by Hull Kingston Rovers at the end of last season and really had to prove his case for a contract with the Leeds Rhinos. He's done that. Myler lofts that ball towards Coote at the back, the fullback, but is comfortable underneath that.
The last 2 or 3 kicks from Richie Myler, they've had a good hang time on. We saw in last night's match, Hull KR, Jordan Abdul, what a kicking game he brought to the table. I have to say, I know it's 24 hours after. That's the best game, and I've enjoyed it most all year.
Nakama. Wigan romping away with it against Huddersfield. Salford ahead as well. Huddersfield's going into decline. We'll be looking over their shoulders, the Giants. Here is Wormsley. Get out of my way, he says. Aaron Smith. Here's Luke Thompson now. Lomax manages to get the kick in, and Walker has to look over his shoulder and does well. I'll tell you what, Jack Walker has recovered well after that horror start.
He's done really well at the back, hasn't he? As he got Wormsley, he got Thompson, like 2 peas in a pod, aren't they, the way that they go forward. They get on the back of a strong kicking game. The forward pass, though, you're looking up, and I said it before in the first half, you're confronted by this white wall. You're trying to get over the advantage line as quick as possible. Unfortunately, the referee, Ben Fowler, says that Luke Briscoe was just overrun that pass then.
Could be a costly error for the Leeds Rhinos.
They've probably played the best 25 minutes of the season since we've had that half-time break. They've been competitive, they've been aggressive, they've been adventurous. They obviously lead in the second half. It doesn't mean too much, they're the only points from it. But they have to defend now and play well for the last 15 for it to mean anything.
You might have got some points for it once upon a time. Leading in the second half. Here's Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. And Saints looking to regain the initiative in this game. Aaron Smith. They might lead on the scoreboard, but as Phil says in this second half, Leeds have been very much their match. And another penalty.
Well, another set of 6 to deal with as well. There's Aaron Smith, who gets the penalty. 42 tackles he's made in this game so far in 66 minutes.
Justin Holbrook says keep the pressure on.
His service from acting half has been outstanding. That's something that James Roby consistently gives you. Accurate passes, 10, 12 metres.
Here is James Bentley, Championship Young Player of the Year in 2017. Luke Thompson. Lots of conjecture about his future. Another penalty. Parcell, possibly the culprit. Whatever, it was Leeds desperately trying to stem the Saints' advance.
Well, just slow it down for Leeds Rhinos. That's what the players are trying to do, commit numbers. But too strong, the likes of Thompson, Wormsley, Kyle Amor here.
Amor. Smith now. Here's Fage. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. 3 there to stop him and slow him down. Aaron Smith. Oh, that was a bit of a tangle with Alex Wormsley.
Yeah, you can see what he's trying to do, Aaron Smith. He's trying to drag the markers away, create a little space between 8 and 9, Cuthbertson and Parcell. He's just not quite accurate enough. Probably doesn't take, probably 1 step, half a step too short there, Justin Holbrook. And we mentioned James Roby. James Roby and Aaron Smith swapping notes now, and the master passing on those little niche plays that forwards have between one another. Just didn't quite get it right there. He's been good though, Aaron Smith, so far.
Play on now! Move! Back with me!
It is hard to believe that the first 3 minutes of this game, it looked as though it was going to be a complete massacre. But it's been a pretty even contest since then.
It's similar to last week, isn't it? St Helens, there were 38 points to 2 up at the hour mark. There were no points scored in the last minutes. The Saints have that ability. Castleford had it a couple of years ago when they were at the top of the table to score in quick blasts, put lots of points on in the short spell, and then just drift and then hold it there.
When you play against Saints, you can't wait for the ambush. You know they're going to come at you really, really quick, especially if you're at the bottom of the table. You've had success at Super League at Old Trafford. Saints aren't going to feel sorry for you where you are.
Well, a penalty gives Leeds an opportunity, which they squander immediately.
Well, Richard Agar, obviously the frustration. I'm sure that when they're practicing these moves at training, they'll nail them. But Conrad Hurrell is caught in two minds here. When Jack Walker is going across the field, he's probably expecting to cut back under and get the ball. And you could just see that he just changed his mind and they didn't quite nail that play then.
Betfred Championship action coming up tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena. First v second, always a big game as Toronto host Toulouse Olympique. You can see that on Sky. St Helens maintaining, or looking to maintain, their 100% record at home this season. Victory here tonight makes it 10 out of 10. Not home and dry yet, but Leeds running out of time. It's been a gutsy display in that try early in the second half. The only points in the second half have given Leeds a bit of hope, but there could be a response from the Flying Saints, and that ball's gone forward.
Again, commitment in defence from Leeds Rhinos. St Helens doing what they do best, finding the edge. Tommy Makinson trying to just get around Richie Myler, but fails to do so. Good work in defence.
What are you thinking if you're Tommy Makinson here? Richie Myler, good tackle, he looks over his shoulder, and all of a sudden, sees Conrad Hurrell coming after him, forces him off the field. And you're right, Barry, that is good defence from Conrad Hurrell. Richie Myler still not giving up.
So 10 minutes on the clock. St Helens on course for another win to keep their lead at the top of the Super League table at 6 points and set up their next game, which is a trip to Warrington. And what a tempting prospect that is. Warrington Saints, and it's on Sky Sports. There you go, next Friday, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena. And Thursday, it's a massive game as Hull Kingston Rovers take on Hull FC. Never mind KR's situation in the table, it's Hull Kingston Rovers against Hull FC. What can you expect?
Anything.
Callum Watkins, not a good pass, and it's Cuthbertson with the kick, and Leeds really scrambling a bit now. Coote claims, and then Coote counters for the Saints. Here goes Makinson.
You're just waiting back for Tommy Makinson, aren't you?
That's phenomenal, Doc. That was the first tackle. This is the second, or the third, should I say. But every Saints player back. As soon as the kick was collected by the fullback, Saints players back, ready to be an option.
Points fest at the John Smith Stadium, 22-38 now. And Wormsley goes on a run. Wormsley with the sidestep.
Did he just dummy someone then, Alex Wormsley?
He did. Lomax. Bentley now. Bentley barges past the first, gets the pass away. The ball stays alive, but it's Walker who pounces on it for Leeds.
Well, Saints playing on the front foot from that barnstorming run from Alex Wormsley. Again, they're so good at changing the point of attack, aren't they? They look like they're going one way, they come back the other. They then look to offload. Look at this, Alex Wormsley. Big, committed player every time he carries the ball. Doesn't panic, the big fella, when he gets near the try line.
He used his evasive skills to get away from Harry Newman in that run. Here is Conrad Hurrell. Trying to get the ball to Luke Briscoe. Again, it doesn't stick. And there's a lot of if only for the Leeds Rhinos in this second half, because there've been 2 or 3 opportunities on that left edge for them.
Well, Bill, they're playing catch-up now. They've got just almost 7 minutes to go, haven't they? They're 14 points behind it. They've got to force the pace, force the passes.
If that's Ash Hanley, I think he knows and he's able to read Conrad Hurrell, because he's played with him, I don't know, probably 16, 17, 18 times. He's aware of his habits, trained with him during the week. It's tough for Briscoe, first game of the season, to know intuitively where to be and what to do.
Here is Makinson, scorer of another superb acrobatic try, which still, half-time, all the talk was, how on earth did he do that? Seen it so often, and yet every time he does it, it's hard to comprehend what you've just witnessed.
Your mouth just gets bigger and bigger every time you watch it, doesn't it? Or mine does anyway.
That's
Yes.
depends what's on the plate, really, isn't it?
Whatever's on the plate goes in the mouth.
Here's Fage, here's Lomax. Saints bit disrupted, I think, by Percival's absence and Zebtea going off, but that's taking nothing away from a really gutsy display. But
Well, James
somebody's
Donaldson,
gone in the bin.
Yeah,
James Donaldson.
it was. You know what? He's defended really well. He's targeted Alex Walmsley, but he's offside. He can't get back in, and that was a try-scoring opportunity.
Well, that's it. Plus, Ben Thale has spoken a few times to Callum Watkins about the number of penalties in the ruck. You can see he's clearly offside there, has to know he's offside and deliberately gets in for it. It's a good call for the symbol.
So Leeds will finish this game with just the 12 on the field, and Saints may well capitalise now against a weary Leeds side who've put in a really strong performance. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook will capitalise. Second of the game for LMS. And this time he gets to celebrate in front of his own supporters in inimitable fashion.
Well, the captain of enthusiasm for St Helens gets over for the second time. Brute strength on shore. Leeds Rhinos had enough defenders in front of the big loose forward, but he will not be denied, will he? He's had some big involvements in the game. Well, it all come about from James Donaldson. He's not set at marker, he knows where he is, but he deems it as a risk he's willing to take, and the referee Ben Thale shows him the yellow card. Myler, Parcell and Conrad Hurrell aren't strong enough to deny LMS this try that will see off the game. And he's still chundering away.
Could do with a bit of work on his post-try celebrations. But it has put this game to bed for St Helens. Their first points of the second half, and have come in the closing minutes of the game. And Coote, 4 from 4, including a touchline conversion from Makinson's try. Will want this one to maintain 100% record. That he does. 30 points to 10.
Well, for me, they're the most balanced side that we've seen at the top of the Super League table for the last 10 or 15 years. I can't remember the top team having so many threatening players. Generally, you'd go and watch a team and think, oh, there's 3 or 4 guys who score most of the tries or set them up. That clearly isn't the case if you watch St Helens. Short restart here, Leeds. That fighting spirit, don't want to give it in, but it's patted back here, and the Saints come up with the ball again. But so many players have done really well to balance out the threats that they have. Makes them very difficult for Warrington next week to cope with, but a challenge that I'm sure the Wolves are hoping for, and the Saints, well, all they can hope is that their army of support follows them and starts to sing that song to bring the best out of them.
There could be more to close with for the Saints up against the 12 Leeds Rhinos. Myler desperately trying to slow things down and concedes the penalty.
Well, Briscoe as well, and it's James Bentley showed some good touches, hasn't he, since his arrival onto the field, and Justin Holbrook knows that this game could have been a slippery contest for his side.
Here's Kyle Amor. Fellow Cumbrian Brad Singleton with the tackle. Here is Louis McCarthy. Scarsbrook fancies a hat-trick, perhaps. Love to see the celebration if he gets that. Still time. Amor on to Walmsley. Walmsley. Watkins clinging on at the end there. And it's Bentley, I think, who's stretched out and got the try. It is. Second of the season for the young Irish international James Bentley. Saints fans with a fist bump and a celebration. They maintain their 100% home record and give the scoreline the appearance of a comfortable win, but that would be unkind to the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, started the game well and finished the game well. And Alex Walmsley, you can see when he runs onto the ball, he leaves players on the floor. And Matt Parcell can't get up, Callum Watkins can't get set. And James Bentley knows that all he's got to do is follow on from that big play from Walmsley, and he does just that, and just manages to get the ball down.
It's just rewards for him. He goes away and he remembers his performance. He sees he got to try, and it might validate what he's put into this game. But I go back to just after half-time, when everything got a bit heated. On two separate occasions, he was the first player to put his hand up and cart that ball forward. So, a brave young man.
And Coote is an accurate goal kicker. Has been thus far, is once again. 36-10, final minute of the game. And puff of the cheeks from the former Bradford Bulls player James Bentley. Big expectations, career expectations for him, and great club to be at if you've got potential like that to fulfil.
Well, if St Helens are going to win anything this season, they need strength and depth. They've clearly demonstrated that. Aaron Smith, the second choice hook, has been on. James Bentley now fulfilling that role in Smith's absence. And they do. You've got three very good players who can play in a very important position.
Competition for places, isn't it, as well? And you look at Justin Holbrook over the 2 years he's been here, they've never picked up major injuries. They've had quite a settled side to pick from.
Parcell has pinched that ball for the Leeds Rhinos, who surely can take, I mean, they'll take some encouragement from this game ahead of their meeting with the Catalan Dragons next time out. What will be Callum Watkins' final appearance for the Rhinos. A game they need to win.
It's an emotional night for the Rhinos to get up for.
Here's Ferris. Conrad Hurrell. There's been no question about the commitment from Leeds in this contest. But neither can you question the finishing power of this St Helens side, because we have seen that. And Justin Holbrook has registered, sort of seen his side register another win. For Richard Agar, it's a bitter defeat. Big effort from the Leeds Rhinos, but Justin Holbrook has seen his side maintain their 100% record. 10 from 10 at home then in Super League, and a second victory of the season against the Leeds Rhinos. Ultimately, at 36-10, it looks a comfortable win, but Leeds, certainly in the second half, made Saints work hard for the win.
Well, there's good signs for Richard Agar within the side, and I don't think players will ever give up, because they'll be lacking in confidence when you're getting beat, whichever team you are. But Saints just look like